Hey guys, welcome back to week 3 of the Evolved Nutrition Program. Really good job. Talked to a lot of you guys in the last week. Really good job at drinking water, continuing that habit, and then starting to eliminate a lot of the sugar sweetened beverages. And I talked to a lot of you, and after you realized how much sugar was in things, it was really surprising. So keep those two things up. And this week we're talking about mindfulness. So mindfulness means a lot of different things. Maybe you guys think it's sitting there meditating. That can be a part of it for sure, but it's also just noticing what's going on inside, noticing what's going on around you, and how those things affect each other. So there's a huge article about it and about how we can be more mindful with our food, but I'm just going to go over our goals for today. So goals for this week are going to be looking at the hunger scale and trying to stay between a 4 and a 6. When you get on either end of the spectrums of like a 2 or a 3, that it's much more likely to swing you over to the 7, 8s, 9s, 10s. And that's when we're over full and uncomfortably full. So generally try to pack some snacks with you. That helps you stay within this range before you get super, super ravenous. Because when you do get really ravenous, you're much more likely to overeat in that moment. And then that's going to lead to discomfort later. So looking at that and looking at overall intake. Another goal is going to be to try to get one 30-minute meal in a day. So what that means, breakfast is crazy, lunch is sometimes crazy, we may be on the go, but maybe dinner is a good time to sit down and actually be a little bit more mindful about our food. When you have that 30-minute window, it allows you to really sit down, taste your food, be present, and notice if you happen to maybe even a little bit less because you get fuller because you're actually noticing what's happening. So try to do one 30-minute meal a day. Maybe it's breakfast, maybe it's lunch, dinner. Choose whichever works best for you. The next things I want you to identify are the why, what, and where of your food. So understand why you eat. Are you eating because you're hungry physically, or are you eating because you're mentally hungry? So trying to identify those two different things. So if you're physically hungry, your stomach's probably grumbling, maybe your mind's a little bit foggy, or if you're more emotionally hungry, maybe you're not actually feeling that rumbling in your stomach, but you're stressed, you're looking at, you've had a big day, all of these different things. You're sad, you're angry, whatnot. Look at what you're eating. So if you're physically hungry, eat something good that's going to fuel your body and mind and soul. And more likely, if you're sad, hungry, angry, whatnot, you're more likely going to eat something that's going to be probably not the best for you. So maybe you're sitting there because you're super angry or super sad and you have an entire chocolate bar and you're in your car. Not the most mindful place to be eating, or the most mindful thing, and not in the most mindful situation. So what can you do to get to the root cause of that? So can you go take a walk if you're upset or sad? Can you call someone? Can you take a moment to do a couple deep breaths? What can you do to cause that mental stress to go down and to get to the root cause of the situation? And trying not to use food as that overall band-aid for everything. So look at where you do eat your food. That's a really important thing because location can often lead to overeating. So if we are eating in our car, if we're not being aware, if we're eating in front of the TV, what are all these things that are going on that may be causing us to consume too much or too little? Last thing I want you to do is to identify 2 or 3 of your favorite foods and figure out what you love about them. Because again, we don't eat just for fuel. We eat because it brings us joy, because it brings us into community. There's so many different things. So try to understand what it is about those things that you really, really love. Because a lot of times if you're eating 5 cookies, that first cookie, what it was doing was, because it was super sweet and delicious and crunchy, by the time you get to the 5th one, you may not be noticing all of those things anymore. So try to notice the things that you love about food and take a moment to really, really enjoy it. Have a good week.